Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another round of Mind Your Fucking Business. Your host, Jeffrey Princeton.
Thank you, Dougie Six, coming to you from the beautiful studios and a little bit cooler studios today, actually, I should mention, of Undefeated Media here in Bergen County, New Jersey. This is the Mind Your Fucking Business podcast, brought to you, of course, by both the Bamboozled Project and DraftKings. Get your fall gear, not summer gear, fall, winter gear, whatever you want, or you could get summer gear if you want to shop early. Maybe there's good deals on discounted stuff on the website, thebamboozledproject.com. When you go to checkout, use promo code MYPB. Save yourself 20% off your entire order. We thank DraftKings as well. This is episode 203, Dos Cientos Trades. So if you're joining us using the Spanish features available to you today or whenever you're listening to this episode, we welcome you and hope you enjoy episode 203, which is our prediction episode coming up today. We are taping this episode on the first day of October. So this is October 1st, Wednesday, October 1st. So when you're listening to this, whenever it may be, if you want to know kind of where they were in time when they were talking to me, that is where we are, Wednesday, October 1st. You can watch the show live this morning on YouTube and Instagram, or you can stream it back to at your convenience, at your leisure, whenever you would like. And that would be via the iTunes method or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whatever you would like.
Everywhere.
You can find us. If you want us, you can get us. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Happy. I think this is the beginning of, to me, this is the beginning of fall. October's official start of fall. Try to milk the summer as long as possible.
Well, if it is to you, then you would know that Mother Nature probably agrees with you, because today it's definitely a lot cooler. So maybe Mother Nature's in line, although the pumpkin drinks of the world all seem to come back now in mid-July. And fall starts then. For me, not a surprise, and that was an unrehearsed segue, by the way. Hockey is the return of fall. So that would be the return. And we are now a week away. The preseason for the Rangers winds down. Since we were on last, they played the Islanders twice. They lost at home on Thursday night and won at UBS Arena on Monday night. And the Rangers have just two more preseason games to go. They'll be home tomorrow night on Thursday against the Devils, and then a day trip up to Boston on Saturday in the last game. It doesn't make any sense to go through the four games and talk about X's and O's and you know how they blew a lead here, how they won in overtime with Noah Laba on Monday night. I could care less about the results. So I think the biggest takeaway, and this is a positive, I mean this in a positive way, for the Rangers preseason so far, is that there are a lot of battles of players still to make it. Here you are, 66% of the way done with your preseason games, and you've got a lot of roster decisions to make. And you would like to be in a position, I think, as a fan of a team, where you have that as your situation, rather than, oh, well, you know what, training camp is not about battles. No, you clearly have players here that are doing everything they can to make the team. And certainly you're seeing that as there's going to be some roster decisions. We're going to give you our predictions here momentarily. Mike Sullivan yesterday said to the media when he was asked about the rosters, and I would expect this to happen now. I would expect a lot of the guys that are on the cusp of making it or on the cusp of missing it, however you want to look at it, I think are in the lineup tomorrow versus the Devils, because I don't think they want to come down to Game 6 in Boston to make the decisions, although they might have to in some cases. So when Sullivan was asked yesterday about the roster situation, he reiterated that the word he liked to use is fluid, right? It's a fluid situation, right? What we said is the roster today on October 1st may not actually be the roster on October 7th at opening night. These things can always be changed. So let's go on this assumption. And B-Rock, I'm seeing in the comments something about Luke Hughes. I don't know if you want to
breaking news.
I don't know. I don't cover the Devils, but it would make, if that is true, I don't give a shit. If that is true, our producer's about to lose his mind in the corner and go crazy. Anyway, so the Rangers, look, let's go forwards. Obviously, your top six are set. You kind of know it's Cooley, Zibanejad, JT Miller, and then you have Lafreniere, Trocheck, and Panarin. Anything beyond that, when you go to the bottom six or the other six forwards you need, I mean, you could make an argument for any of these guys to make the team. You could also make the argument that they shouldn't make the team. So let's run through the candidates for the last 6 spots. You have
So
no
this is the chopping block list.
This is the chopping. No, these are people on the chopping block, but also the people that could make it.
Borderline. They're on the fence.
So Noah Laba, Connor Sherry, Parsonen, Gabe Perreault, Matt Rempe, Adam Edstrom, Brett Berard, Taylor Radish, Johnny Brzezinski, and Sam Carrick. So you have there 9 players? Let's see, 10 players and 6 spots. So 6 are going to get the ticket and 4 are not. So this is the third and fourth line. Let's start.
Is there just stupid question? Is there a practice squad like those 4 people
No.
are going home?
They're going to Hartford.
Home.
They're most likely going to Hartford.
Got it.
So let's start with Gabe Perreault.
Yes.
All right. I love Gabe Perreault. I'm excited for Gabe Perreault. If you came up to me and you told me that you had a Gabe Perreault jersey, would I consider buying it? I probably would tell you yes.
Ooh.
Right. Now, I would like it if it was from the Chinese website that's massively discounted, but that's a discussion for another day, and I don't want to say that out loud. So here's my thing with Gabe Perreault. I'm high on the guy. I think he's looked good in the preseason. However, let's use a little history.
Yeah.
Ranger fans, rightly so, complain about guys like Capo Caco and Alexis Lafreniere that the organization doesn't know how to develop them. And therefore, they are in a position where now Capo Caco doesn't even play here. He plays 2,500 miles away in Seattle. And Lafreniere hasn't blossomed into anywhere near the player we thought he was going to be. And what did they all have in common? They didn't have time in the minors, right? If you remember, Caco went right into the league. He scored a goal on the Saturday afternoon game in Edmonton. His first career goal was against Edmonton at home at the Garden on a Saturday matinee. I think it was game 2 of that year. Lafreniere, and granted, it was the COVID year where you play those division teams over and over. He went right into it, never started really in the minors. And you complain about it. So if you're going to complain about it, you cannot tell me that you would want Gabe Perreault to be the opposite approach and be on the team. To me, Gabe Perreault should go to Hartford.
1 out of 4 right there.
What?
That's that's 1 out of your 4 that are going.
That's what Gabe Perreault should not be on the team. Gabe Perreault should go to Hartford.
Wow.
So I'm going to eliminate Gabe Perreault. Now, the odds are very high, by the way. If you want to disagree with me and you think Gabe should be on the roster, that's fine. But I would tell you, if you do disagree with me, you'll be happy to know that I think the odds are very high that at some point this season, he shows up on Broadway and plays here.
So there, Laugh and Caco were sold to us as the second coming of the best of, like, they're going to be difference makers immediately, right?
Right. Now,
So,
can we pull up, to
yes.
your point, Chris's comment, which is the second one on your screen, and that is, what does Lafreniere and Caco all have in common? The fans drink the Kool-Aid just like they are now. So Chris is referring to Ranger fans, or as he calls them, magic beans. Ranger fans drink the Kool-Aid on these prospects. They don't end up working out, and he's saying it's the same thing with Gabe Perreault. I don't know how anyone, if I told you that I think Gabe Perreault is going to be very good, I have as much stock to back that up as Chris has to take the opposite approach. We don't know yet. The jury's still out on that. So Gabe Perreault, to me, I think goes to Hartford. Now that we've eliminated that,
3 spots left.
Well, no, 6 spots left.
Well, three
spots to not make
remaining.
it. Correct. Now, if you believe, and I understand in sports that this is not always the case.
Yeah.
But if you believe that you can, in fact, play your way onto a professional sports roster by how well you played in a training camp, to show yourself, to prove yourself when it was unexpected, that is Noah Laba. I mean, the guy, if I'm going to go off of training camp and use that as my barometer, then you know what? He does deserve to be on the team. So here's my 4th line. Guess at the 4th line. I have Adam Edstrom on the left, size guy. Okay, I can live with it. Noah Laba at center. And I hate this, but I know that the city of New York would burn down if Matt Rempe wasn't in the lineup for some stupid reason. I'm going to put Rempe on the right wing.
Rempe's in. Nice. We got Remsanity. I'm going to put
Rempe there. So my 4th line.
Wait, you're putting Rempe on the team?
Yeah.
Your favorite player, Rempe?
I'm putting him. So Adam Edstrom.
Okay.
Noah Laba, Matt Rempe are your 3rd line, or your 4th line.
Okay.
The third line, I think, is a little bit harder to do than the fourth line.
Mm-hmm.
I posted last week, again, if you're going to go off of training camp. Now, Connor Sherry has not had as good of a training camp or as impressive as Noah Laba, but he's been good.
Mm-hmm.
He also has a ton of experience. He's a Mike Sullivan guy. He's also married to Mike Sullivan's niece, and he turned down better offers that were out there because he wanted to come here. He's making the team. He's making the team. Let's be real.
He knows a guy.
Let's be real. So I think that he is going to be the winger, left wing on the third line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now here's where people are going to get annoyed, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just giving you, I'm not saying this is what I want to happen, because if it was what I would want to happen, Matt Rempe would not be in the lineup. You know that. Once I told you Matt Rempe's in the lineup, you know I'm not doing what I want. I'm telling you what I think it's going to be. All right. So Connor Sherry is on the third line,
Mm-hmm.
left wing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go third line center. A lot of people tell me all the time, maybe rightly so, maybe not. I don't know that we have enough, data on this,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of people don't like Parson, this, third line center. I can tell you, because it's out there all the time, that the organization does like him. And I think he's your third line center to start.
Wow.
So I think you have Sherry on the left, you have Parson in the center, and then I think on the right, they're going to go with Taylor Radish.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning the people that don't make it, the four that were out, well, we already knew Perreault. I said he should go to Hartford. And I think Johnny Brzezinski doesn't make the team. I'd have no problem with that. I think Sam Carrick is kind of the first guy out here, first guy in situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Brett Berard doesn't make it either. So I have Perreault, Brzezinski, Carrick, and Berard not making it, with the assumption that any of those three, or even four, I'll put Gabe Perreault in this, could be very quick call-ups because players get hurt. The team doesn't play well. And as Mike Sullivan told you, this situation is very fluid. And these guys that do make it on the third or fourth line also better play well, because as we've seen, and we're talking about it right now, you have a situation where there are players right behind you in
Mm-hmm.
the exact roles that you're playing in spots that are ready to go.
Yeah.
So
Drinking the Kool-Aid again, Chris.
that is my prediction. I'm not. I see there's a ton of comments. I can't. I'll look at them in a minute. Yesterday, it
Mhm.
came out, because we don't even need to discuss this player, whether he's making the team or not, that Brennan Othmann was sent down. And I had planned yesterday actually to do a kind of car video that I do that you guys all like a reaction to it. And I got tied up with some other things. But Brennan Othmann, as a refresher, like 101, we'll go back a minute here.
Mhm.
16th pick overall by the Rangers in the first round in 2021. And I think we can look at this two ways. And B-Rock and I were talking about this before we went live this morning. And that is, do you want to take a glass half full approach, or do you want to take a glass half empty approach? Let's do the optimistic side first of glass full. Surprisingly, and I was surprised to learn this yesterday, I didn't know that this was the case, he's only 22 years old. So he's young. So if you want to label Brennan Othmann a bust, or a bust to be, or whatever you want to call it, remember, you're doing that on a 22-year-old player, not a 29-year-old player. I think it's hard to say someone's a bust at 22. So he's still young.
Mhm.
And there have been glimpses of good play. Last year in Hartford, he played 27 games in the AHL and scored 20 points. The year before, he played 67 games in the AHL and scored 49 points. That's not awful numbers. It's not great, but those numbers wouldn't give you the inclination that a 22-year-old guy is putting that up in the AHL. He's definitely going to be a bust at the NHL level.
Mhm.
That's definitely not consistent with that. So that's the glass half full approach. You want to do glass half empty,
Mhm.
which is usually how I like to do it, because I'm the eternal pessimist with this stuff. He's been very inconsistent. And Mike Sullivan said about him yesterday, which I did not find a very complimentary thing. And when I read it at first, I wasn't sure what it meant. And then I thought about it last night a little bit more. I'm like, it's not really that nice. He said him going down to the AHL for Othmann is part of the, quote, exploratory process, end quote, of what his game really is in the NHL level, meaning that he's still trying to figure out where he fits in the NHL level. As B-Rock and I were talking before we went live, you would know by now, if he was a top line or second line guy in the NHL, you're not doing an exploratory process at 22 in your fourth year to figure out where you fit in. You're probably not a top guy. or in this case, something that would be relevant to a 16th pick overall in the first round. Okay.
Mhm.
So the Othmann thing is concerning, but I'm not going to the point. I'm not going to the ledge yet where I'm declaring the guy a bust, because I do think he's going to get NHL time this season. I said this already probably 4 times in the last 15 minutes we've been live. The situation with the lines are fluid and the roster. So this stuff can change at any time. You're not locking guys in to play all 82 games at Madison Square Garden or 41 games at Madison Square Garden and 41 on the road. You're locking them into game 1. Anything can change beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
It was reported last week, before we get into the season prediction, I want to go over one other thing of importance, that Rangers front office, Chris Drury, approached Artemi Panarin about a contract extension, because, again, he's in the final year of his deal, and approached him with a very team-friendly deal, meaning it was a discounted deal. Artemi Panarin should be able to get more money, but this is a team-friendly contract. And Artemi Panarin rejected it. Now, before we go any further here, remember, all this stuff is reported. We saw the reported stuff with Kirill Kaprizov, that, he turned down this deal and he's never going to sign there, by Elliot Friedman, and then yesterday he signed. So a lot of times when you see stuff reported, it isn't true. So just remember, we're not talking about stuff that factually we know is true. It was reported. But here's my view on this. If I'm Artemi Panarin, why in the world, if the Rangers came to me with a team-friendly deal on the first try, would I ever accept it? He would never do that. It would never happen. It's a starting point in the negotiations by the Rangers with what was also an acceptable response by Panarin. I don't know what Artemi Panarin would gain by accepting the first offer he received, which also happens to be not in his favor. Well, I don't know why that was news. Maybe it was news that the Rangers are talking about the deal with him, which I don't think would be news also. The Rangers are well aware Panarin's contract is up. But I'm not sure why he would, in turn, accept a deal like that.
Huh. You gotta negotiate. You gotta draw it out a little bit. Get a couple extra million.
Yeah, I don't think this was a negative thing. What's going on with your phone?
I don't know. It's the chat. It's the MYPB chat.
The
blowing
MYPB
up.
So let's talk
but
Guardo's
quick,
point. Hold on, go ahead.
I know, because I know you don't want to talk about your other team, the other team over there. But is because we're talking about contracts? Brian, is that true news?
Elliot Friedman reports they're closing in on 7.
Okay. Wow. Very cool. That's enough Devils talk. Can we put Guardo's comment, which is Panarin gets you into the playoffs? And that is this has been the core of my Artemi Panarin argument for years.
You and
here.
Chris about to argue.
No, I'm not going to argue with Chris. We do enough. And you can see Chris is arguing. Look, right on cue, he's commenting on it. That's perfect, Chris. You can complain about Artemi Panarin in the playoffs and his lack of production. I don't know. I would agree with you, because I remember the Game 7 goal versus Pittsburgh. I remember the Game 3 overtime goal versus Carolina. But if you want to make an argument that he doesn't perform in the playoffs, that's fine. You're not getting into the playoffs without Artemi Panarin. You have to replace 120 points 2 years ago. You'd have to replace 90 points last year. Artemi Panarin needs to play here. Now, the team is right, as any team would be. You want to get as much of a team-friendly contract as you can. But I don't necessarily think that it was news that he didn't accept it on the first offer. Why would he?
Yeah, I mean, but that also kind of is the same story. Like, are we going to be team friendly this year, and we're going to come together, and or are we going to have locker room problems? That's I can't wait to hear your answer on that and your prediction.
Yeah. All right. So, all right, here we go. The New York Rangers season prediction.
You
ready?
Yep.
I've tried, by the way. I've tried really hard, and I think I got it. The last 4 shows we've done, or this is what, the 5th show of the fall? I think it's the 5th show.
203.
Yeah, right. So 5th show since we've been back from summer. I've tried really hard to not give it away. I feel like I've done that because people have asked me my prediction, and I'm kind of like trying to
some
tease
hints.
it.
Yeah, you gave
I've dropped some hints there and there. That is
Yeah.
true. Nice to see you're paying attention. We'll see if the hints line up. All right. It's very hard, obviously, to predict what happens with 82 games in front of you when there's a million twists and turns that you can't predict. I mean, look at the Rangers last year, right? You would have never predicted what happened to happen. And on top of it, the Rangers started out amazing last year and then literally dropped like a free fall on a ride at Great Adventure. So let's try and use facts, right? And if I'm not going to use facts, I'm going to try to use opinions that are kind of backed up by facts to start this, right? The Eastern Conference, which is where the Rangers play, is bad. It's bad. The Western Conference is so much better. You're lucky you play in the Eastern Conference. The best team in the East, I think, I mean, I don't know how you wouldn't pick the team that's won the last 2 Stanley Cups. Lost Matthew Tkachuk till January, and then last year, unfortunately, to an ACL injury, lost Barkov for the season. So they do not have Barkov the entire year and Tkachuk, which helps tell you that the East is weak. If you go through the remaining parts of the East, who scares you? Like, go look at all the other teams in the East, the other 15 teams, and tell me who scares you. The best team on paper to me right now, taking into account the Florida injuries, if I just went off of paper, are the Carolina Hurricanes. However, we've seen Carolina, Rangers all the time, I see this, or they saw this 2 years ago, are not good in the playoffs. Something always happens. They can have a great regular season. They can be great all year, but something seems to happen with them in the playoffs. So it's hard to sit there and say that no other team in the East can get by Carolina. So my point is that the East is weak. The Rangers division, they play in the Metropolitan Division. I think is the worst division of the 4 in the NHL. Washington last year, to me, overachieved. No one thought they were going to be as good as they did. No one thought Alexander Ovechkin was going to do what he did last year. No one even thought that he would break the goal scoring record last year when the season started because of the year it would require him to have, and he had that sort of year. Can they do it again? I'm not buying it. They could. And I'm not saying Washington isn't good, but I'm not buying that Washington's doing this again. I'm sorry, I'm not. Columbus also played above their heads. I don't think they're terrible, but I don't think Columbus has the same year that they had last year at all. The Devils are good, but man, the Devils just cannot stay healthy. Jack Hughes cannot play a full 82 games. I think he's a great player, but until he can stay healthy for an entire season with his build and the lack of physicality, it's hard for me to sit there and put him in the mix for an 82-game season. Markstrom, who's the Devils goalie, and Dougie Hamilton are now older players. So that's one thing on the Devils. The Isles didn't really make major changes. I mean, I don't know why with the Islanders. We don't cover the Islanders. I don't know what they've done different this year that they're not going to be the same thing as they are every year. Philadelphia is better. Trevor Zegras makes them a lot better. That's true, but they still don't have goalie and they still have a lot of issues. And the Penguins might be the worst team in hockey. The Penguins actually, and I hope they are because I hate them, but I won't hate them if they win the lotto and get Gavin McKenna in the draft lotto next year. The Penguins might be the worst team in hockey. All right, so we've established that the Eastern Conference is not good. We've established that the division might be the worst division in hockey. They play in the worst conference of 2, and they play in the worst division of 4.
So we're going to the playoffs.
No, one more thing to go. One more thing to go. The last 2 coaches the Rangers have hired, Gerard Gallant. This is a very important point, by the way. This is a very, very important point. Pay attention. The last 2 coaches that the Rangers have hired, Gerard Gallant and Peter Laviolette, when they came in year 1, they far overexceeded expectations. Gerard Gallant in the first year went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Peter Laviolette did the same thing with winning the President's Trophy the same year. So for whatever reason, a lot of this core group, when they get a new message in year 1, they gravitate to it for a year. Obviously, year 2 is a hot mess. We'll cover that in September of 2026. So the new coach should help you. And again, we all know how high I am on Mike Sullivan. He is the U.S. Olympic coach. He's not a slouch. Other variables that we need to take into account. Panarin, it is a contract year. We see this in sports all the time. Players, when they're playing for money and they're playing for a contract in the last year of a deal, they usually are pretty good. They have an elite goalie. Igor Shesterkin is, I think, top 3. You want to tell me he's the best in the league? I guess we can go there. I don't know that it matters. He's one of the best in the league, and he wins you hockey games. There will be games that you get 2 points out of because Igor Shesterkin is there. If you had an average goalie, you would not get 2 points. So you kind of get a little extra cushion because your goalie's elite. Last thing is Murphy's Law last year. Last year, Murphy's Law, everything that went wrong could go wrong. I can't remember a season, not just for the Rangers, of any team that I follow, the other ones that I even like in other sports, where just like everything went wrong to like, and it just snowballed. It was like a snowball effect. So
Mhm.
I just, I don't think you can repeat that. So for all the above reasons that I mentioned,
Mhm.
for all everything I said, I think the Rangers make the playoffs as a wild card. I think
Wow.
they have too much talent. I think the division is too bad. I think the conference is too bad. I think they have a new coach. There's way too many positive things that I could say
Mhm.
that I think they make the playoffs. Would I be surprised if they got in as like the third slot in the Metro and not getting in via the wild card? No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I would be surprised for sure, however, if they ended up making the playoffs because they won the President's Trophy. This is not that team. So if you're going to sit here and think you're going to get the team from 2 years ago, you're not going to get that.
Wow.
However, I would expect them to make the playoffs. And if they don't make the playoffs,
Mhm.
and I'm just going to say one thing, and I'm not even going to deal with it until I have to, and I hope I don't have to. If they don't make the playoffs, all right,
Mhm.
then, I mean, you would have an enormous amount of soul-searching,
Yeah.
cleaning out to do in the offseason. It would be not the sort of topics we would like to talk about
Yeah.
around here at all.
Gonna get messy real fast.
But I think that they will make the I think they will make the playoffs as a wild card.
So that's a safe bet baseline. That's like, what the average, what it should be. Is there anything that we should think about or need to do to over exceed those expectations? We're probably not gonna have another president's,
Trophy.
run
Mhm.
cup
Yes.
run. But what are our goals and expectations to rise above that baseline wild
All
card?
right. Very good point. We
Panarin's got to score in the playoffs. That's one.
Well, that won't help you get in the playoffs, is what we're talking about. So I put this up last week.
Yeah.
If there's a player on the team
Mhm.
that is under more individual pressure to perform, like
Mhm.
I will look at your stat line at the end of the year,
Mhm.
it is Lafreniere, easily to me. He needs to be better. I
Mhm.
don't think it is a coincidence. Now, you can't compare playoff hockey to regular season hockey. So I understand I'm not doing an apples to apples
Yes.
conversation here. But when you look at how good he played in the playoffs in 2024 in the second half of that year,
Mhm.
right? And how well the team did, and then how atrocious he was last year, like absolutely atrocious, and how atrocious the team was in turn, I don't know that it's fully coincidental. And Lafreniere needs to be better. If there's one player that I am going to look at when we do our postseason wrap up in either April or May or God willing June,
Mhm.
if you understand where I'm going there, it's going to be Lafreniere. I can assure you that we will talk in 9 months or 10 months, whatever it is, about Lafreniere's stat line. It will be talked
3
about.
weeks.
So that would be, to answer your question, that would be one thing. The other thing I'm going to say, and we have not talked about this a
Yeah.
lot, and I have not talked about it, and I apologize because it probably should have been there,
Mhm.
and that is Gavrikov's impact on not just the team, but his impact on Adam Fox. Can Adam Fox kind of bounce back, have a better year, because he's got a steady and a very good complementary partner because he's offensive like Adam Fox is as well. Allie, that Ranger girl, will put up her comment, and that is, to me, Zibanejad, he's got to be under a microscope too, is absolutely correct. If I said to you I had to pick someone other than Lafreniere, it would absolutely be Mika Zibanejad.
So that was kind of my next question. So we all can agree that Lafreniere, if he doesn't perform this year, we got to figure something out. He might be shipping off somewhere. Zibanejad is in that same group. If he's not performing this year,
Zibanejad, again,
we got the trade clause. I get that,
but you can't get around that.
Okay, so besides him, is there any other player that needs to perform this year, or they're out of here?
I don't. If Lafreniere had a bad year, right? And I see that you guys are talking on the YouTube chat about trading Lafreniere. Bye bye, Laffy. If you, the problem with trading Lafreniere is his deal is very, very cap friendly. It was a 7-year deal at $7 million. So I understand you're trading him because you think he's not good, and maybe you're right to assume that if he doesn't have a good year. However, exactly as Skunky Bruges is saying right now, his contract isn't bad. That's a great team-friendly contract. So you're probably
You're not getting someone
you're
better
not
for cheaper.
you're not unless the return, it helps you get a very
Yeah.
good return. It's not, you're not getting rid of Lafreniere because you can't stand him. You know, you can stand him because his contract isn't bad. You have a very good deal on him. However, if he can use that asset in the fact that the deal is good to bring back something good, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I'm like would be willing to trade Lafreniere. See, I always go back to, and this is my own stupidity, by the way. It's 100% my own stupidity. I go back to that Monday in August of 2020 when they did the draft lotto and the lotto balls and the Rangers won it and everyone made this huge deal about Lafreniere and, you know, he had better stats in the Canadian League than Sidney Crosby had. Here he comes, yada, yada, yada. And I still, in the back of my head, want to believe that somehow that's going to come out. Because, again, like Brennan Othmann, as we talked about earlier, they're still young. Like, it's not like Lafreniere is 29 and he hasn't done anything. He's, what, 23 now? I mean, he's still young. Now, he's going to play in a coach that I hope he gets power play minutes now. I really hope he gets more power play time. He's going to play with a coach that seems to feel comfortable or confident. Sullivan has given you indications that he thinks he has ways to fix Lafreniere's game. Look, would I be surprised if Lafreniere had a great year? No, I wouldn't. And I hope I'm hope that's exactly what happens. But there's no player, to me, that is under the microscope more than Alexis Lafreniere this year. It has to. I don't even know. Again, Mika's a fair answer too by Ali. You could absolutely make an argument, but to me, I mean, Mika, we can't do anything anyway. Mika's older, so he ain't going anywhere. Lafreniere is this young kid. He's supposed to be the generational prodigy. Signed a great deal last October, a year ago next week. Now we're coming up on an amazing deal, and it was atrocious. It wasn't even. He almost you forgot he was playing. So, Laffy will be a 50-point max player in his career. I am assuming that's per season. Yeah, which for most players wouldn't be bad if that's true. But if you're again the generational hype talent, yada yada yada, then I'm not sure. So the Rangers tomorrow finish the home slate of their regular season or preseason at home versus the Devils. Saturday day trip in Boston. Again, I think that they use these next two games a lot on some of these players. Like I think you're going to see Noah Laba play. You're going to see Parsonen. You're going to see that whole group of people that are kind of on the cusp who's going to make it. And if I'm them, I don't blame management for sitting here and saying, well, I'm going to make if this race is still neck and neck with some of these players, let's put them in two games and see who does better, and we'll start with them. Put them under pressure to perform. Like if you're Noah Laba, for example, and you're on the roster, you're on the plane going up there Saturday morning because they do that final game as a day trip. You know, normally they stay overnight. They don't every year the Boston trip. I know that from going to school up there. If I'm Noah Laba and I know I'm in the lineup on Saturday, I'm in the lineup because I have a chance to make the roster. You would expect all of these guys to play their asses off to make the roster. And because, again, like I said earlier, if they don't, 2 weeks from now, the people that don't make the roster can easily be called up. So that is where we are. And the Rangers, thank goodness, open up next Tuesday night at home versus Pittsburgh. The home opener annoys me this year. I understand why they did it, but the home opener annoys me, and that is because it is a 8:00 game. I'm at a point now where, like, you can tolerate the 8 p.m. stuff on the weekends, but during the week, like, I don't know. It's like the West Coast drives me nuts when you're out when they have those games out there for 10 p.m., and that's like 1 week. I understand this is one night, but, like, why is it 8:00? Because if it's an 8:00 game, it's also not really starting till 8:20, 8:25. Then you have the lineups, the opening night stuff that they do. Like, there's no need for a home game. This is not like a playoff game where it needs an 8:00 start. We don't need the first game of the year to be Pittsburgh at 8:00.
Okay, it's a late night. So obviously you're gonna be there.
I'm not going to the home opener. I am going Sunday, the second game. They're home versus Washington. That is the plan of now.
Nice.
I thought I'm not a huge home opener guy. Like, to me, it's no different than any other game, and it gets like hyped up. They're not playing a great team this year. Again, it's 8:00, which means I'm now getting home at 12:31. Allie is saying she'll be at the blue carpet all day. So the Rangers do this thing, and I saw they put it out yesterday every year where they do like a blue carpet where the players arrive. Like, I wouldn't have the time in my life. I have enough time with the kids' schedule, particularly one of them at the moment. Getting to the games on time, let alone getting there at 3. I could never do that. So I'm going to the plan is to go to the second game, which is next Sunday versus Washington. And one thing, and I'll say this next week, because when we're on Wednesday, you'll obviously know how they did in the first game because it's the night before. They start Tuesday at home versus Pittsburgh. They go Thursday at Buffalo, and then they play Saturday again at Pittsburgh. Those first 3 games, I'm not going to be a moron and tell you that they're must win because they're not, but you really should get 4 or 5 points of 6. Like, you really, I mean, they're not back-to-backs. You're not playing any back-to-backs. Pittsburgh's probably the worst team in the league. You're playing them 2 of the 3. Buffalo's probably right behind them. They're not good either. It's pretty. You should be doing that. So, all right, moving real quickly to the NFL because we spent a lot of time today on the Rangers as I thought. Last week, week 4 picks, very good week. So I'm going to tell you. Tell me if you see the pattern. You ready?
Sure.
Week 1, we were 1-4. Week 2, we were 4-1. Week 3, we were 1-4. Week 4, we were 4-1.
Okay.
What's week 5?
2.
What? No, we
went
we
4, 2.
We went 1-4.
1-4.
We keep rotating. We're either going 1-4 or 4-1. So we're probably going 1-4 this week. We had. I'll tell you what we had right last week. We had the Steelers plus 2.5. If Allie's still watching, she'll like that I said that. We had the Steelers plus 2.5 at home versus the Vikings. That was in Dublin, and they did that, and they didn't even need the points. We had the Giants plus 6 at home versus the Chargers. Were you there?
Wait, who?
I had the Giants. Oh, here we go. He's doing something.
Wait, who?
What are you doing with your shirt? Oh, he's wearing the
who?
shirt. I thought I saw somewhere you were there. Yes.
Wait, who?
We see your shirt.
Wait, who?
B-Rock, they're 1-3, and he's running around town showing off his shirt. And they did. A neighbor's out for the year. All right, so we had the.
I was there. It was the best game ever.
We had
We're back. We're going to the Super Bowl.
We had the Giants plus 6 at home versus the Chargers. We had the Lions minus 8.5. I told you that would be a murder, and it was at home versus the Browns. We had the Cowboys plus 7. That game ended as a 40-40 tie. And then the one we had wrong was the 49ers minus 3 at home versus Jacksonville. So we were 4-1 on the week. Here we go, week 5. I'm sticking with the European theme because it seemed to work. I like the Vikings minus 3.5 this week against Cleveland and London. The Vikings need to respond after a terrible performance versus the Steelers. Cleveland stinks. The Vikings have been in Europe all week. They're kind of settled in there. I have no reason to think that this would go any other way. I'm taking the Vikings minus 3.5 against Cleveland. I like the Giants. Here we go, because he's got the shirt on. Plus 2.5 in New Orleans. I understand they don't have neighbors, and I'm not necessarily saying I'm buying the Jackson Dart hype, but I'm telling you New Orleans isn't good, and the Giants are getting points. Give me the Giants plus 2.5. I like the Eagles minus 3.5 at home versus Denver. Denver destroyed a terrible Cincinnati team the other day. Denver, maybe they're a byproduct of just having an easy schedule. It is what it is. But give me the Eagles minus 3.5 at home versus Denver. I like Tampa plus 3 in Seattle. Tampa, look, I mean, they've been good. I'm not sure I'm buying Seattle yet, especially what I saw last week in Arizona. Give me Tampa plus 3 in Seattle. This next one, I struggled on the 5th game. I'm going to just go back to like my 101. When home teams get a lot of points, I like to take it. Give me the Bengals plus 10 at home versus the Lions. The Lions are a better team. The Bengals have been really bad, really bad. But plus 10 is a ton of points
just
for a home.
lost by 30 last night.
I know. But 10 is a lot of points. You still have Jamar Chase. You still have, T. Higgins. You still have players there that can play.
Zero offense.
I get it. Well, they don't have Joe Burrow.
Brian's having a heart attack.
You don't like that one? All right. So we'll see.
Dude,
you know what? We'll come back to that pick, but I like the Bengals plus 10.
I think you're better off. Sorry, Brian, but I think you're better off with the Bills playing the Patriots for 7 points. I think the Bills are going to beat the Patriots by more than 7 points.
It's not one of my picks. So here are the week 5 picks. I think the Vikings minus 3.5 against the Browns in London. I like the Giants plus 2.5 down in Big Easy, New Orleans. Eagles minus 3.5 at home versus Denver. Tampa plus 3 in Seattle, and the Bengals plus 10 at home versus Detroit. One thing, if you are a Giant fan, and I'll take your question, Ed Maturko, who's going to win a game first, the Jets or the Rangers? I'll take it in a minute. The Giants, one thing, if you're going down to where they're playing in this New Orleans, right? The best restaurant, like if I had one meal that I literally, I mean, I travel a lot for work, and you told me I had one meal left, like where would I go and what would I order? It is in New Orleans. I would go to Mr. B's Bistro. It is in the French Quarter, and you order yourself the barbecue shrimp. It is, I think it's the best meal in America. Like legit. So if you're a Giant fan and you're going down to New Orleans this weekend, because I know a lot of Giant fans listen to us because they'll send us football stuff when we're a Ranger podcast. If you're listening and you're like, what are we going to do to eat? Like go to Cafe Du Monde and do all those things and Emeralds and Commander's Palace, all the tourist traps. Go to Mr. B's Bistro, get the barbecue shrimp.
Nice.
And also get the pecan pie. But got that, yeah.
So did you include the other home team we got here, the Jets?
I'm going to do that next because Ed is asking who's going to win. So the Jets would have to – I would think the Rangers are playing 3 times between the next Jet game and the Jet game after it. They're playing Pittsburgh twice and Buffalo once. You got to win one of those. Yeah. So to answer your question, Ed, who's going to win first? I don't think the Jets beat the Cowboys this weekend, so I'm going to guess that's the Rangers. Ed will probably be there. He's a Jets season 6 owner.
So on paper and realistically, you would think the Jets are going to lose against Dallas. I think this is one of those dumb games because Dallas has like 3 or 4 like just dumb games a year. I think this is one of the dumb games where the Jets somehow miraculously win, and you see the Dak like blank stare into the jumbotron. How did we just lose this? And then your Jerry Jones is going to have a field day. It's going to. I don't know. I got a feeling the Jets are going to somehow win this game. It's going to be ugly.
You know what? I would agree that it wouldn't be the most surprising thing. And yes, Allie's asking about a place to eat in Boston near the Garden. I definitely do. I went to school up there. I used to go to the Ranger games up there when it was the Fleet Center. I can give you a million places. I'll send Allie a DM later. We'll take some Instagram questions. I'm sorry, guys. I actually missed some of the questions today, and there's a lot of them, so we're not going to run through them all. My thoughts on the Luke Hughes deal. D-Rock, what was it, 9 years? Was that what it was?
7 years, $9 million.
It's a lot. So I think the Devils did well in terms of the amount of years. You locked them up for a while. That just seems like a lot to me. But I don't think it's a gross overpay. What do you think, B-Rock? You're a Devils fan.
I think they are investing in the fact that he is going to be worth 9 and more. He's not worth 9 right now, but 2 years from now, hopefully he's on that contract is looking sweet.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to watch and see. But that also probably helps get them. What's his name? Quinn, the brother, next year, which would be atrocious for any hockey fan. That's exactly what we don't want. All right, let me take your other questions real quick. Football will continue to spark the Giants. Yeah, I mean he'll continue to spark them because he's playing. It gives you reason to watch. I don't know that they'll win. Mika is more of the why are you still here candidate than he is. Yeah, it's possible. Is Gabe going to make the opening day roster? I said earlier, if you're just joining Chris, no, I don't think he is. I think he goes to Hartford, and that's not a knock on him. I just think that's where he belongs right now. Biggest W for the Rangers is Kirill got signed, and now we don't have to listen to fans wanting to pay $17 million for him. I understand that point. I get it. All right, so next time we're back on, we will have regular season hockey. Thank you. Thank you, the calendar gods of the world. Ranger preseason, again, 2 games left. Home against the Devils tomorrow night on Thursday, up in Boston on Saturday. We will thank the Bamboozle Project, as always, for their sponsorship, thebamboozleproject.com. Use promo code MYPB in the checkout. Thank DraftKings as well. We're trying to figure out some new things to do during the season. Like someone wants to get a camera and like use it when I'm watching games to like live look in, which I don't think is that really good, but some of you has asked for that. So I'll put it out there if you guys are interested in stuff like that. And I guess we could be convinced. And we will see you next week when we have regular season hockey. Have a great rest of your week.